everybody, welcome to the channel for the last battle report of the Bellum Lacum number 7. So yeah, we were playing my colleague from Swiss team ETC. I was playing against Xavier, that I know really well. He's playing Vermin Swarm. That was the last game, and I will tell you about the pairing at the end of the battle report, as I usually did in this series of video. You know already my list. This was Xavier's list, basically kind of a usual Vermin Swarm list. I think the special things that he likes is double Earthbreaker, Stygian Earthbreaker. Then he was testing a couple of Jedi, so 6 in weapon team and 9 in the Mermaid unit. And then he has 3 main blocks, Plague Disciples, Legendaries, a block of Bunker, and then he has a piece of Chaff, and the rest is just basically character. He has a Chaff piece. He has like the second general in case the dictator dies. Then he has the Secret of the Doomblade, Bloodful Legate, that is also well known, and 2 other mages in form of an Adept Thaumaturgy and Adept of Witchcraft. We were playing Captain Flag and Circle, and below you have the spell selection. Flags, yeah, in the matchup analysis, so I think Flags doesn't encourage to fight and take risk. Definitely, I'm quite happy that we don't have to play anymore this scenario at this year's ETC, because it's not the funniest one or the most interesting one. Probably hard for both lists to engage, considering what we have. We don't have any very high charge range or also good projection with the Chaff and fast list. So this might be a bit cagey. Jedi are a big threat for my single model, so I need to be aware of that. And the estimation was very drawish. I didn't expect a lot to happen here. In advance, I want to apologize. I lost my note for this game, but since not a lot happens, it's not too bad. You will see. So let's talk a bit about on a macro level. I think that's the most interesting in this battle report. He won the roll for side, gave me the small center and picked the hill, so I think this makes sense. Also give me an impassable, but he also has 1. And after that, I elected to exchange drop, so I told him, you can start to deploy. He started with, I think, a Stygian Earthbreaker all the way to the back, measuring from where I can cast Occultist turn 1. So he put like a Stygian, I placed some slaves, he put another one, I placed another unit of slaves, he put something else. And after a while, I elected to drop for not first turn, to drop and let him start. So I think it was a debate. Most of my deployment was known when dropping, which was the 2 small flags here, the Incarnate, the Bastion, and here in the middle, the Infernal Warrior unit. And then I had 2 options. First option would be drop for first turn. I could have put here the Bull and the Titan next to the Impassable and tell him I want to start, which would have made sense. But I elected to not starting and put my single model in cover. Basically, I had two things that I like. First of all, is to give him the option to take the initiative and drop very frontal to me. So as you can see, it's like stopping here. So I could have put a big brick here next to the Impassable, some unit here to the flank, and try to go face me in the part of the map where I elevate a lot of strengths. So I kind of like that. And I also like the fact that I could have finished the game, meaning I can create for myself situation where I can maybe get a turn 6 charge where I can get something more. So that, and also I think the last element that was for me an incentive to tell him to start the game was the fact that my range damage is not so, yeah, has a relatively short range, so to say, between the Bastion and Occultism. So I was thinking, if I let him start, then I might be sooner in range. So let's move on to his turn 1. So as you can see, Xavier didn't take the bait and elected, despite taking the timeout with Andy, who told him you should deploy here heavily and go crush him. He elected to play more conservatively, so he has here the Stygian, here's the block with the Doomblade, the Jedi, the Murmillo Jedi, the other unit of Legionnaires, the Chaff piece, the Bunker with the 2 mages on foot, the small Chaff guy is here somewhere, and here on the right the Plague Disciples to close basically the flank for the Titan with the help of the Renew's Dictator. His turn 1, he pushes toward me, creates some shooting range. What I can mention from the early turns is I try to recover to win ground on this part of the map, and does the same here. The Doomblade obviously blocks me effectively, I cannot be too offensive, and I try to Also hide the bull for the moment, not suffer early wounds from Jesai, so I'm being quite careful. Also on the right, try to hide from the Jesai that already put a wound to the Titan who was in cover turn 1, so move to the side. And basically have angle to cover this part of the map and this other part of the map. My chaff is in position. I reform those guys to move sideways and move a bit away from those guys. And basically that's it in the early rounds. My first couple of magic phase will be against the Stygian and the Jesai, trying to hurt them. He's going to try to target then my Bastion from the turn 2, or maybe already turn 2, and do wounds on it to try to get the flag, basically. So that's how he moves and try to shoot at me. I have soft cover, I have a lot of wounds, so I expect him not to die so quickly. Yeah, myself pushing slowly, trying to get the bull in position also to get around impassable later on. Keep the Titan in this part of the map. He didn't move much, as you can see also on his turn 3. What I'm trying to get in the second part of the game is to get a range to the Jesai, because he's starting to hurt a lot my blunderbuss, and I'm thinking I need to reduce his range damage output. So I'm trying to get in range for the Gravehole here and letting him having long charges onto the Bastion, see if he want to risk anything or not. Here I'm starting to get the range and get first blast on this unit, and basically giving him like 11 or 10s, quite long charge with a lot of counter charge setup, starting to move with the bull around. This round I'm going to kill a couple of Jesai. He's also doing wounds to himself, and as you can see I got a mark for Doom here, did 2 wounds and here did 3 wounds, so he just backed away to not give me any points for free. So basically the Stygian are out of the game, but the Doomblade alone is enough to not tell me to push too much, basically. Yeah, not much will happen. This is the turn where something interesting happened. So as you can see, I don't have a lot of blunderbuss left, like 5 or 6, so not that much. So I'm starting to feeling nervous. I don't have any spell really to protect myself against his range damage. That was maybe a mistake to not pick the ward save spell on the Bastion unit. But this time I'm going to target again those guys, blast them. And basically I'm going to kill them this time, get a good grave call and kill the rest of the wounds, which is forcing a lot of panic check. This unit is going to fail the first 7 rollable, but pass the second one, so it's fine, because if he fails, it's straight off the board and it's capture the flag, so it's huge. This unit is going to pass, this unit is going to pass, and this unit is going to pass 2 times the 7 minimized rollable, meaning he's going to flee. Luckily for him, the closest unit are those 2 guys, and not the unit from the bottom. If it would have been the case, it would have been dramatic for him to flee off the board. So obviously it's huge, but not that huge, meaning he flees. Ended up somewhere here, he has a rally check on the shaky 7 on 2 dice, no reroll. So it's very important for him to rally because it's capture the flag and he has the 2 mages. So it's like moving from a 10 to a 15. So it's really, really huge. We'll see if he passes that. And yeah, that's the key moment in the game. He rallies on his turn 5, so he can breathe again. Yeah, some interesting here movement is what I will do on my turn 5, is basically moving a bit closer with the Titan to tell him. So here I was still a bit far away and he still has a lot of models. But since I killed one with, I think, magic or himself, maybe due to the Jesai shot, he's down to a number where if I get the charge on turn 6 and I buff correctly the combat, it's not that unlikely that I don't kill 2 models and then he's not steadfast and he could break, which is huge. So I tell him, if you stay that way, I'm going to charge you and buff the combat. So basically it's the last unit that can shoot at my blunderbuss where I have like 5 or 6 models left. So if you want to try to kill them, what is huge is obviously those guys. He has the magic missile, is out of range from my Bastion. So due to the flee, so that's already some impact. Now he has only the toxic breath that I can dispel, and those guys can shoot here, but I want to force them to reform, and that's going to be enough. It's going to reform 3 white to avoid me charging here. I had Rot Within and Flammable Token cast on them, so Hereditary plus Rot Within, to make sure that if I charge, I get reroll to wound and hit on 3+, which is basically enough to make them, I think, in a tense position. So yeah, he reformed, doesn't get any good shots here, is not going to finish my unit here, which is good for me. And on my 6, I could have charged here, but no points to take because we are on a 10-10. He took half of them, I took the Jesai, and that's basically it. So that's how we ended up. It's a perfect 10-10, so not much happened. Sorry guys. I tried to tempt him to attack me in a difficult part of the map, but he didn't took the bait. The Titan plays his part in slowing down the right flank. Obviously, we can discuss if my choice to drop and let him start was the right one or not. If I would have started, I would have put Titan on the right and Overlord on the right, so maybe this gave me slightly more option to attack on the right, or at least threaten his right part of the map. Could have been also something, but here I like the fact to give him the initiative and tempt him to attack me in a more difficult setup than if I would have dropped for first turn, basically. If I would have deployed differently for first turn. Turn 4, Infernal Dwarf, yeah, big Gravecold, causing a lot of 7, reroll, minimize panic, a shaky rally check, but was successful, luckily for him. And Blunderbuss came close to die and give away secondary. I think here I missed the fact I should have picked the ward save spell. And yeah, I missed some protection spell from my Bastion, so here definitely the ward save could have saved them a bit better or made them a bit safer. We ended up losing the round 36 to 44, which is not any help for both teams because we ended up both not being on the podium because of that drawish result. I think here we messed up with the pairing. Definitely, there is some misestimation. One match that Shizu put at a drawish, which is definitely a negative. He has like Doben Cannon and Divination against a demon with Sentinel of Nukujara and stuff like that. So definitely was a negative matchup. We shouldn't have changed that. And we misplayed because Lichmeister had 3 positive matchup and we got him the only match that was drawish for us, which ended up losing 7 to 13. Mine was a perfect draw. Louis won slightly and we lost slightly this one, but we definitely missed the pairing. What happened in the pairing process? We didn't take enough time for preparation. Basically at the lunch break we discussed a bit about it, but we didn't. Actually, what you should do when you do this kind of pairing, you should go down to if they throw the Vermin Swarm, what do we want as an answer? If they throw the Dread Elf, the Warrior and the Empire, you go down to all 4 scenarios of what they could draw and what would you like to have as an answer, and as a deduction from that you can then pick what you're going to throw. And we didn't do that, and basically we throw myself, and the worst situation happened that they throw Andy, meaning I wasn't there in the hand to be an answer on Andy, and I was one of the match that could play good against Red Elf, I think. Meaning we ended up getting the Beastard here and get the negative matchup here on the Demon and no positive matchup, which was definitely a mistake from our pairing. So a bit disappointing about that. We should have been doing better and we could have been doing better. So yeah, didn't take enough time for that. I don't know why, to be honest. Okay guys, that's all for this battle report, so let's talk soon in the conclusion video a little bit about what do I think about my list, what were the results, who did win the tournament, and so on. Thanks us for watching and talk to you soon on the channel. Bye.